What's up? We are all but loaded and ready to head to our first trip to Hatfield McCoy Trail. Never been looking forward to it for a while. It's our first trip of 2021. We are going to head out tomorrow morning about 5 a.m. and all loaded up and ready to go. GPS says it's about a 5 and some change trip. With the itty bitty fuel tank on that thing, we're guessing we're going to have to stop and fuel a few times. So probably more like a 6 and some change hour trip. We broke down this week and ordered a diesel. Getting 7.5 to 8 miles a gallon with that thing is not going to cut it on this trip. So. Looking forward to it. Like I said, heading out about 5 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be doing some filming and documenting along the way. So after a bunch of research planning this trip to Hatfield McCoy, we decided to stay at the Ashland ATV Resort in Ashland, West Virginia. It's easy to become overwhelmed when you start researching places to stay for Hatfield McCoy trips. There are a lot of choices, but after having a trailer stolen last year on a trip to Tennessee, we really put in a lot of research to try and find a place we thought was going to be safe and secure, and Ashland has 24-hour security. When we got there, it didn't disappoint at all. What a great facility. They've got fuel, they've got LP gas, they've got any kind of accommodation from tents, bring your own camper, various different sizes, cottages, cabins, lodges. We stayed in a deluxe cottage, well built, well kept, nice place. Had a queen bed, a bathroom, a kitchenette. The only thing it didn't have that we kind of wished it had was like a sofa to hang out at during the evenings when it was a little bit cooler and we were done hanging out outside. There really wasn't a lot of place to hang out on the inside, but we discovered Ashland's got a cabin that's about just a little bit bigger with a sofa that's very similar to the one we stayed in, and I think we'll stay there when we come back in June. So they've got, like I said, lots of different options depending on how you want to stay and what's important to you, but pretty much anything that you could want, they seem to have. It's located right on the Indian Ridge Trail System, which we did the first day, and the Pocahontas Trail System's about 4 miles, 5 miles down the road. We did that the second day, and that was pretty much all we did on this trip. You can see right there on the right, that's direct access to Indian Ridge Trail System. So if you don't want your kids out on the road getting to and from some of the trail systems, they've got direct access right there. So just a cool place, well run. Looking forward to coming back in June and doing some exploring that we didn't get to do on this trip. So in the next clip, you'll see the road that leads from the resort to the Pocahontas trailhead, which we found to be a lot of fun as well.
Till they reach the other side. True love never dies. Plenty of bumps along the way. They'd be lying if they said they liked each other every day. Love never dies. Somebody take a picture. Somebody write it down. We can learn a thing or two about forever.
So day 2 of Hatfield McCoy's, we are on the Pocahontas Trail System today. Yesterday we did Indian Ridge. There wasn't a bunch to film. That was some neat little trails to kind of get started for day 1, but no real cool overlooks or kind of stuff that we seek out. But some nice, good trails, nothing hard at all. Good little riding, but today seems to be a little bit more our style, just a little bit more room to stretch your legs and some more scenic stuff. We came across this Belcher Cemetery with some neat stuff that dates back in the 1800s. Heather's gone on a walkabout checking it out. But I wanted to grab a camera and get some stuff filmed for today because this has been a cool trip on Pocahontas today. We're enjoying this one. So I thought I'd share a little bit of this neat place. What are those two tall ones over there? Military? Little babies. Hard times back in the day. Brutal. Yeah. October 7th, 1898. July 13th, 1929. USS F-45. Yeah. That's neat.
That's 41 years old.
Wow. So after we left the cemetery, we knew we wanted to make our way to the town of Bramwell. So we stayed on the Pocahontas Trail System, eventually made our way down to Trail 10, which leads out to the road that heads into the town of Bramwell. We stopped along the way, found some cool trails on our way to Trail 10 that were a little bit more high speeds. We got to run a little bit harder like we like to do, and found a spot to stop and fly the drone. Ran into some other people riding that were wise to the drone. They knew we were doing, stopped and waved, and made our way out to the end of Trail 10 to the road, and then I think we have more fun on the streets than we probably should, but that machine's just kind of fun on the pavement as well as the dirt, so we enjoy stretching it out on the street a little bit too. Rode into Bramwell, found the Corner Shop Diner. They cater to ATV or UTVs, and had some great food, some good old-fashioned ice cream. Just really got stuffed and waddled out of there and loaded up and headed out for some more riding. It's a good time.
Down this dream for as long as I've known. Sometimes I get to thinking that my life might be wrong. I wonder what kind of man I'd be if I hadn't moved away from my hometown and my folks. Wonder what I feel like today. Oh, they say think it's enough to drive a man insane, but my mind has always been like the sky before the rain. Get so twisted up sometimes it's hard to catch your breath. If I could do this, I might think myself to death. it's hard to catch your breath. If I keep doing this, I might think myself to death. A tree up on the hill, and days go by on your windowsill, and you're standing in its shade. Raise your children tall and proud, chase away the lightning clouds until you finally get old and gray. We all fade away. Plant a flag and make a stand, and build a fence around your land. But by and by, the stones will crumble down. For what it's worth. So our take on Hatfield McCoy, now that we are all home and unpacked and cleaned up and somewhat put away, what a great place to ride. Definitely a little bit more of our style of riding than some of the other places we've been to so far. There's definitely no shortage of rock crawling type places, and we don't mind that kind of stuff, but we really prefer trails that are a little bit more conducive to just hauling ass and letting it eat, and you really kind of got to watch where you do that so you don't put other people in jeopardy. And so it's been a little bit harder to find those kind of trails, but it seemed that Hatfield McCoy had just a bunch of places where we could really just ride the way we like to ride, and it's just so massive. We only saw parts of it, and I don't know if we saw 5 or 10%, but it wasn't a lot. So I'm looking forward to
just continuing to explore that area. We weren't sure before we went where we would plan our annual fall trip, but I think it's safe to say we'll be headed back there. We're also going to head back in June, I believe, and maybe a couple more times before fall. But yeah, that's some good riding. Trails are in great shape. Much easier trails than like Windrock. You know, a green trail at Windrock was more like a blue trail at Hatfield McCoy. So anyway, just a great trip, great place to ride. Looking forward to going back.
Ask yourself, are all my dreams up on a shelf, and all I have to show is this waste of time?